You're probably used to me opening videos talking about how excited I am, and this video is no exception. A few weeks ago, Minifigs.me sent me prototypes for their new Doctor Who range, featuring Doctors 1 through to 9, and they asked for some feedback. I provided some feedback. You guys were really great in the comments providing some feedback of your own. Minifigs.me went away to have a think, came back, and here are the finished products, now available on the Minifigs.me website. It's worth pointing out now, since it's December while I'm recording this, that Christmas is on the horizon, so if you did want to get one of these, I'd make sure to check their cut-off dates. It's also worth pointing out before I go into this, Minifigs.me wanted honest feedback, and just to assure you that this is definitely not biased, this video is not sponsored. So first up we have the First Doctor here, as portrayed by William Hartnell. He unfortunately still has the same hairpiece because the Doc Brown hairpiece is incredibly rare, but that's completely fine. I've said it in a few videos now, but what matters with these figures is the printing itself, because it's Lego and hairpieces can always be replaced. It's not a huge deal. He comes with an alternate face. One of the main things that was requested before was suggestions for alternate expressions, and I suggested a stern look with a monocle on his face. I'm happy to report that Minifigs.me have gone along with that suggestion, and here he is with the monocle. I think he looks smashing. He's captured perfectly here. Like I say, I'm going to be swapping out that hairpiece, but I can't fault this. Obviously, there's a monocle on his torso as well, so you can kind of assume that the First Doctor has a spare monocle. That's fine by me. Yeah, I love it to bits. Next up, we have the Second Doctor, and like with the First Doctor, there has not been too many changes because the figure itself is already pretty much perfect. The only thing that's changed is the alternate expression, so let's cut to the chase there. He's got a stern expression. Now, I think I remember suggesting he has a kind of comical screaming face because there's a lot of scary monsters in his era, but I'm more than happy with this as well. And again, I think the use of the Harry Potter hairpiece is an inspired choice. Compare that to the prototype here, and like you can see, there's very little difference. It's pretty much just the face print, fine by me, I love it. Now we have the Third Doctor, and I think out of the range, I think this is the one that came out a little bit disappointing for me. The printing around him has remained the same. The main thing that's changed from the prototype is the removal of the cape, which personally I'm happy about. I wasn't huge on the cape. I thought it looked... I'm never really big on giving minifigures big fabric overcoats and stuff, because I think sometimes it can detract from it, and it brings a whole new element of frustration because things can crease and get damaged. But that's me being super nitpicky. I think the main thing that I wasn't particularly happy about with this minifigure is the hairpiece, which has remained the same. I believe there was a vote on the Minifigs.me Facebook page, and they voted pretty much unanimously to keep it, so, you know, fair to them, but it just doesn't do it for me. Ideally, you'd want the Hobbit hairpiece in white, but that has to be spray painted, and unfortunately, it makes things a little bit delicate. Removing the cape piece, you can now see the back of him. There's like some detail there, particularly on the trousers, but I feel like given the removal of the cape, there was an opportunity to maybe add a bit more detail there. I hope I'm not being too much of a negative Nelly. Anyways, let's put this prototype to one side and check out the alternate expression. Now, yes, I like this very much. Kind of a wide-eyed look, a little bit maybe out of his depth. You can imagine early season 7 John Pertwee being like this when he's kind of playing up to his comedy roots. A smile would have been nice, but since this is one of the sterner Doctors, I don't mind not having it. It fits the character. It's the Fourth Doctor now, and I remember saying that it was pretty much perfect. I stand by that. I think you guys agreed with me in the comments, so there's been minimal changes really. Let's have a look at the prototype. As you can see, they've lightened up that hairpiece, which I think was a good idea. And the smile is far wider as well. I think that much better captures Tom Baker's manic energy, so I'm really happy that they went in that direction. As for his alternate expression, it's something a little bit worried. It's something I'm very happy to see. Full disclosure, I've got a couple of custom Tom Baker minifigures, and it's easy to go for the big wide smile as the obvious choice, but the use of an alternate face means that you can pose your Tom Baker Lego Doctor Who minifigure in different situations, which I don't believe a lot of competitors have, unfortunately. As before, I'm really happy with this, no negative comments from me on it, so let's move on. We have the 5th Doctor now, and yeah, it looks okay. I don't think any changes have been made to the body. I think the main thing is the face. Now, it's not just the adding of an alternate face that they've changed, it's the shade of the eyebrows, because as you can see with the prototype, the eyebrows are much darker. It would work with someone with black hair, but it didn't quite suit Peter Davison. And his smile's a little bit smaller. He looks a little bit more restrained, which is very apt for his Doctor. Let's have a look at the alternate face. And yes, as requested, there he is with his half-moon spectacles. I love this, it's an excellent touch, a bit of an in-joke for Doctor Who fans who know he very rarely uses them. And in fact, only applied them because Peter Davison thought it would make him look a bit smart. So I'm looking forward to posing this guy up with my David Tennant minifigure with his spectacles too. Now we have quite possibly the biggest glow up out of all of these Doctors. This is now by far my favourite custom minifigure out of the range. It's the 6th Doctor. The transformation is actually incredible. So let's take this guy to the left and put this guy down. This was the original prototype here. As you can see, he didn't have question marks on his shirt collars. It's an important aspect, but easy to miss, I think. The trousers weren't yellow originally. I believe, from what I was told, that was unfortunately an error in the printing stage. They've gone with the Hobbit hairpiece in a slightly different colour, and it looks perfect. Let's turn around the prototype, because here's something I didn't mention, and I followed it up in an email because, you know, maybe I was just so excited about getting all these prototypes, and it's, you know, it's an easy thing to miss, but as you can see, it's all a tartan pattern on the back of the 6th Doctor's coat there. When we turn this guy around, you have an immense amount of detail showing the array of different materials that you actually have on the 6th Doctor's coat. I feel like when I saw the back originally, I felt like there was something missing and I couldn't put my finger on it, and very obviously you can see what it is now. Something that Minifigs.me have always excelled at is capturing the little details, and this 6th Doctor minifigure is the epitome of that. So yes, my new favourite, I love him to bits, it's superb. Now we have the 7th Doctor. This is an interesting one, and it's something I didn't pick up on originally, but let's take the prototype in. Originally he had his coat has a beige hue, and that's how many people remember it because of, I'm not entirely sure. It's not something I picked up on. I honestly always assumed it was beige, but clearly it's a sort of light grey, and a few people on the Minifigs.me Facebook page picked up on that. I didn't, so kudos to them for pointing it out. As before, I'm really happy with the detail on that jumper. A couple of differences here. The new version doesn't come with an umbrella, which is a bit of a shame really. I quite like it when you have minifigs with accessories, but the umbrella accessory isn't too difficult to obtain elsewhere. He's also been given a hairpiece, but Minifigs.me have recognised that the hat is iconic, so he still comes with this. Unfortunately, it does mean that he cannot come with an alternate expression because the hat would reveal it. So as you can see, here he is with the hat on, and when you turn it around, no second face inside. I think that's probably for the best. The new version is a much more stern expression, which I think much better suits this Doctor, particularly his latter 2 seasons. I feel very lucky to have a prototype because it means that I can interchange the smiley face with the stern face. I suppose it would have been nice to provide a second headpiece with that alternate expression, but I don't know if that would drive the price up. And one of the good things about Minifigs.me is they're pretty competitively priced. Here he is, it's our boy, the 8th Doctor, and doesn't he look glorious? I don't believe there's any change to the printing on the torso, but as with the others, there has been a change to the face printing, and a different hairpiece has been provided. So here's the prototype. They've used the Han Solo hair, I believe it is. And whilst that hairpiece was probably alright for Paul McGann's later look in Night of the Doctor, it doesn't quite match his luscious locks which he wears for the TV movie. So they've gone for a longer hairpiece in a darker colour, which is a bit of a shame, I think. It would have been good in brown, but I don't believe that hairpiece comes in that colour. Certainly not one in high quantities. And yeah, it was always going to be a difficult one because Paul McGann's wig in the TV movie is quite unique, and I don't believe there are many hair pieces, if any, that would truly capture it. It's one where Lego would have to make a new one themselves, and unfortunately it doesn't feel like officially licensed Doctor Who products are something we're going to be seeing in the near future. Alternate expression, we have him a little bit stern. In fact, I believe that's the default expression for the first time, so let's have a look at the new one in a bit more detail. He's got that beaming face, innocent eyes. You just know he's serenading Grace, talking about how the sky is dancing with lights. It's nice. I love a happy, smiling Doctor, so thank you, minifigs.me, for my beautiful tiny Paul McGann. I've saved the best till last because the Ninth Doctor is officially and canonically the best Doctor. Here he is. And there have been some changes here. Let's have a look at the prototype. So the thing that's probably immediately apparent is the change in hairpiece colour. It's still the same hairpiece, but this time it's in black. It's not something I had an issue with before. I would have said to have this in a dark brown, but technically Christopher Eccleston's hair isn't black. I think a lot of people interpret it as being black, and that's fine by me. I'll probably swap it out for a dark brown just to keep myself happy because I'm a pedant. A load of you requested black hair in the comments, so it's just a bit of proof that I'm not the be-all and end-all, which I'm happy to be reminded on a relatively daily basis. Before we talk about faces, the other thing is the torso has been changed. The jumper is a different colour instead of black. Now, I really like the black because for me, my favourite Christopher Eccleston story is his final one, where he has a black shirt. So I like to see that captured here. But I will also admit that it makes him a little bit plain looking. So a splash of colour just injects a bit of life into it. So let's have a look at the expressions. The first one, you've got him looking really happy, which is, like I say with Paul McGann, it's lovely to see a smiling Doctor. The Night Doctor is very often portrayed as quite a brooding, dark figure, which, you know, he has his fair share of that, but it makes the moments where he's ecstatic and delighted all that more special, and it's lovely to see that in Lego form. And on the other side, yes, that looks about right. Properly crossed, not a neutral expression. He is going to blast every last Dalek out of the sky. So in conclusion, these are 9 new custom printed Doctor Who figures that if you're a Lego fan and a Doctor Who fan, you can't miss. I strongly recommend checking out their website at minifigs.me, and if you check out some of my previous videos, you will find discount codes there for 10% off, because if you're getting all of them, things add up. You'll be grateful for that 10% off, I can guarantee it. Thank you so much to minifigs.me for sending these. It's the most exciting thing I've been sent, and I am beyond happy. It's hard to express. And just a heads up, I've heard on the grapevine too that they are considering updating their newer Doctors as well, probably in the new year, so keep an eye out. As always, take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.